A young black person being ruled a suicide no matter what the evidence shows to the contrary. I introduce you to 19-year-old DeAndre Martin. DeAndre Martin was found dead from a gunshot wound in the attic of a home that he had gone to for an after-prom party. Now, take a listen, and then we're going to come right back.
Investigators initially thought Durante Martin took his own life. The 19-year-old's family says, though, it does not add up. And now there's new information that supports their claim.
Tonight, the man who called 911 and an expert who believes Durante was shot from a distance are talking only to the I-Team's Christine Byers. Investigators say Kimberly Robinson's grandson, Durante Martin, died by suicide. She's not so sure. Durante was found dead in this Fredericktown home last month. In the weeks that followed, social media swirled with theories and accusations that the homeowner, James Wade, had something to do with it or knew more than he was letting on.
I know I didn't do it. And I tried to help him, but nobody's talking about that. You know, they're just making up all this other stuff. And they got me being everything from a racist serial killer to big-time meth dealer. And, I'm neither.
Wade said he got home from a day of fishing about 30 minutes before he heard the shot.
I was downstairs and he just shot himself. I called 911 to try to help him.
Madison County 911.
Yes, I need to call. Apparently a guy just shot himself.
Initially, this was an open and closed case. 4 days after Durante's death, the Madison County, Missouri Sheriff's Department announced preliminary evidence revealed the male subject died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound to the head. Do you believe this was a self-inflicted gunshot wound?
There are no findings on my examination of a contact gunshot wound.
Durante's family hired forensic pathologist Dr. Jane Turner to perform a second autopsy. After years with the St. Louis Medical Examiner's Office, she's now in private practice.
The contact gunshot wound, you'll see an outline of the muzzle of the gun, an imprint of the muzzle of the gun on the skin. I didn't see those. The end of the gun would have been 2 or 3 feet or more away. This entrance wound is what would be called in forensic pathology as a distant entrance.
Also, add to that factor that at the time of his death, he had a full cast on his right arm because it was broken, and he was right-handed. Listen to me and listen to me well, black people. Stop allowing your children to go over to people's homes alone that display this flag. I said what I said. So here we are yet again. The death of a young black.
She's not.
Shalom. Call Allah, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. I want to give double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone teaching rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect scattered abroad. My name is Ibar from the Prophets in Babylon camp. And I want to go into this video you see on the screen right here with this Jake kid that got killed.
From a distance are talking only to the I-Team's Christine Byers. Investigators say Kimberly Robinson's grandson, Durante.
And you see this Jake, okay, in this video, he had no idea who he was. You see, as you see, his face.
Called 911 and an expert who believes Durante was shot from a distance are talking only to the I-Team's Christine Byers.
All right.
Investigators say.
Look at him. He's lost, man. All right, he's holding on to the devil. And the devil doesn't seem too pleased or happy to be around him. All right, but he's the most ecstatic person to be around these people. All right, and it said how he was, how his grandma was looking for him. So apparently he was staying with his grandma, and grandma probably, go to the church a lot, worship white Jesus. All right, so she probably taught him and instilled in him to have the utmost respect and love and admiration for these people. And, and so being that, obviously she was in the area where, there was around them more, and he, drafted to them as friends.
Kimberly Robinson's grandson, Durante Martin.
You see he going out in the middle of nowhere with them, pretty much trusting in these people But not realizing that, see, the majority of our people don't realize is that we have enemies. You see, whether you want to realize it or not, if you want to stay in your, you know, mental frame of ignorance. But the truth is, there's nations on this earth that hate us, that want to kill us, and if they get the opportunity, they will.
Died by suicide.
You see, they'll prey upon you and your children, okay, and then, be the devil that they are, because the word devil means deceiver. This man put on this whole show. It was like a damn infomercial
month.
Of him,
in the weeks that followed, social media swirled
front yard and trying to, prove himself, show himself to be innocent. The scriptures talk about how Satan himself transforms to an angel of light. All right. So this man, he probably just cut the grass, he got ready, put a nice shirt on, some nice pants on, some nice shoes on, shaved up. But all the while, this is some damn, redneck, man. All right. Some trailer trash.
With theories and accusations that the homeowner, James Wade, had something to do with it or knew more than he was letting on.
I know.
And you see this, man.
I didn't do it. I tried to help him, but nobody.
If you can discern spirits, you can just see that this man is, flat out lying, man. He doesn't seem sincere. He isn't, upset about a man losing his life in his attic. He kind of got a smirk on his face, like I didn't do it. He's not even upset that the man died. So you can tell that he's kind of, not feeling some type of way about the man dying. All right. And it's, this kid, if this kid had known better, if Jake, would teach their children, these laws, teach these children, you have enemies, teach these children the scriptures, just won't happen, man. You see, I remember, prior to coming in this truth, I had Edomite friends that I thought was cool, and we was on, on good terms and stuff. And eventually they all crossed me, man. They all crossed me in some way or another. And I didn't understand why. It was in a way that I knew that another Jake wouldn't have crossed me in. It was just it's like me, it's like Jake have a common understanding not to do certain things, but Esau not so much, because really, we are two separate people. Sure, we talk about how Jacob and Esau, there was two manner of people in her womb. Okay, two manner of people, man. You see, and when you really take that into understanding and consideration, that means, that we ain't the same people. We're not meant to get along. We're not meant to, to be around each other. We're not meant to, play football together and play basketball and hang out on the weekends. We're not meant to be doing this. Okay? And how do we know this? Because we have enemies, you see. Now, we're going to go into the first instance, okay, or, just the beginning of the proof that these people are our enemies. And right now we're talking about Esau, which are these so-called white people in particular. Okay, we're talking about Esau in particular, but all these nations, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Arabs, the Africans, they all have, made themselves enemies to us and our Lord. It's really because of our God. The Most High chose us out of all the nations of the earth, and everybody else is angry, upset. So, Lakia.
Away.
Got a phone call. But to continue, pretty much, yeah, man, these people are showing you, they show you time and time again who they are. That they are the devil. That they mean there's no good. And this right here was a mockery, man. This was a mockery. This man was showing you right here by his actions, he was, playing this role that he was the innocent, that he didn't do it, blah, blah, blah. But then he had this garage open showing his Confederate flag for a reason. All right, showing you, so subliminally showing his people what he was about, and what time it is. This is a message right here to all these other, Edomite supremacists, white supremacists, or whatever you want to call them. Because what they're ultimately about to do is they're about to start slaughtering you Jakes, man. And all you Jakes that don't have this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding that has not, turned back to the Most High God and, sought Him, you're going to be out there like a dumb deer in headlights, man. If you ever see a damn deer going the road in the middle of the night and the car is coming, the headlights will shock the deer till the deer will just freeze and end up getting hit by that car. Well, that's going to be a lot of you jakes when all hell break loose out here, and this, devil really start to show his horns, you see. And this man pretty much walked into a trap, or this young man, pretty much walked into a trap thinking he had a friend. All right, but this is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 68. And Yahweh shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. It's where Egypt is synonymous for bondage, which means slavery, and those ships was what when we came to America off for cargo slave ships, man. Packed like how you say it? Damn, that just slipped me. But packed like submarines. Okay, well you know what I mean. But we was in them ships packed, and the people who was controlling us and putting us in those ships was this man's ancestors. You see, it says, "Thou shalt see it no more again." I mean, we're never going to see our homeland again, and we haven't. We're still stuck over here in America, finding ourselves getting lynched and hanged and shot and killed. I did a video recently about the woman who a soccer mom who went and had a night with her other soccer mom friends, and it was one Jake woman with a bunch of Edomite women around, and she was the only Jake, and she ended up dead out of all the people, man. She ended up dead. Found in the front or backyard, mingled up. Okay. So and then with the same thing they said, it was a suicide. This is a code they always do. It's a suicide. It's a suicide. You see, it says that thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman. Meaning, when we got to the shores of this earth, the shores of America, as we know it today, we were sold off them slave ships to our enemies, off them auction blocks. We were sold to our enemies, man. And there was no Arabs there, It was these Caucasians there, man. Now, we were sold into, these other nations too, in slavery. But we talking about over here on this side of the earth, America, man. America. So it says, for you were sold unto your enemies for bondman and bondwoman, which means slave man and slave woman. You see? And no man shall buy you, which means nobody was able to, deliver or redeem us out of that situation that we was in. You see, out of that hardcore bondage. And so much so that to this day, we are still, yet this day, in our captivity, man. The scriptures talk about how, our water and our wood is sold unto us, man. And we still in the land of our captivity. You see?
Big time meth dealer, and, I'm needed.
Wade said he got home from a day of fishing about 30 minutes before he heard the shot.
I was downstairs, and he just shot himself. And I called 911 to try to help him. Madison County 911. Yes, I need to.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 73, verse. I'm gonna start at verse 3. For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked, because everything they do, man, they just seem to get off. They prosper in this world, even though they do wickedly, man. Even though they're demons, even though they're demonic, even though they're just the worst kind of people, they still prosper, man. They have for the most part right now, they still have the nice family, the nice house, the car, the boat. The damn motorcycles, they doing pretty good, man. And as we see now, it's starting to come down now. They're starting to get hit with those curses, but for the most part, we have seen them in their prosperity, man. Especially when we were in our desperity, man. If I'm saying that right. For there are no bands in their death, but their strength is firm. Meaning, that pretty much these devils was like fucking. They walk around like Tom Cruise, man, jumping off of buildings and flying, jumping out of moving cars, and it seems to be that they weren't dying. They were pretty much they were being protected. You see, it says they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. And the other men is what? Hey, man, first and foremost, the Israelites, man. But even these other nations, just right now, this so-called white man is in his power seat. So he's pretty much, at a disadvantage from everybody else. You see, and that's what the whole world is realizing. You see, because hey, ultimately the Most High is a just power, and He give everybody a chance to rule in their due season. And right now it's just this, it's this man's turn. Every dog has its day, as they say. And right now this is just this man's his chance to this is his day, and this dog is ruling right now, man. Okay. It says, Zechariah chapter 11, verse 4. Thus saith Yahweh, my power, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. So this man, he's claiming himself to be not guilty, and in his past life, he owned slaves, man. You see it all over his spirit. He owned slaves. His family owned slaves. This is something they believe in. And whenever you see this so-called this flag right here, this Confederate flag, I'm gonna tell you what this means. Let me finish this up real quick though. It says, and they that sell them say, blessed be the Lord Yahweh, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. See, so they, this man feels like he's blessed because he was able to kill a Jake and pretty much get off with it. And that's why you see him in his light. He's doing his interview on a sunny day, nice cut grass, nice, fresh lemonade in the fridge, cooling, man. You see? And this is why, we have to come back to our power, because if not, these nations are going to reign over us, But this Confederate flag right here, what this means was, you had, the North and the South in the Civil War, and that war was pretty much, when you get to the bulk of it, it was about slavery. Okay, and each side had the slaves never freed. Each side supported slavery, just two different type of systems of slavery. Okay, so the South wanted private slaves, or private owned slaves. So this meaning that every individual in the house, you had your own slaves, and they helped you on your farm, and they pretty much you was able to own people, own Jake, beat, whip, and do whatever you please Jake, as it was legal, in this time, fully legal to just, hardcore, beat, rape, enslave, kill, Jake, man. Okay. Now it's not something that they did as much because, in this time, because, as far as like killing Jake, because Jake was still property. They had to buy and pay for Jake. Jake was making the money. But now Jake, out here, trying to play ball and shit. And Esau is like, okay, I still want to kill these niggas. You see? And the other side, the North, all that was just the, these banking elite, government, that was trying to get this whole country to be the way it is now, where it's pretty much a federal system, a public working system where you're still a slave, but you don't have to, be on nobody's plantation, so all the bad condemnations of slavery is not there, but you are still very well indeed a slave, man. You see? And then that's just what that sign represents, is them fighting for that white supremacy and that, that power they had in that time down here in the South. Which lasted for a long time. And even after so-called abolishment of slavery, they still had, Jakes on their plantations, working, especially in Texas. They tell you about it a lot in Texas. But down here in Florida and Mississippi and stuff too, man. All right. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. And the main message I'm trying to push in this lesson is that you have enemies, and you should teach your children, your sons and your daughters, the same, so they don't end up like this young man, or the thousands of other Jakes that end up hung or dying in some mysterious way, and then all of a sudden nobody know what happened. They saying it's a damn suicide, but all these Edomites was around and nobody knows what happened. This man had cameras on his house. They showed in this video. They showing you the damn devil, man. This man had cameras on his house, but nobody knows what happened. Nobody's seen anything. Oh, this guy killed himself. Okay? You see, you heard in that video when they played the audio from the police call, it was a girl in the background screaming, I hate this. And it was at the prom. After prom. So you already know what happens after prom, man. Okay. You already know what happens at the prom. I can pretty much, you know, fill in the lines for you, man. 9 times out of 10, this man either had, a son that was, cool with this kid and they was chilling in the house, or he had a daughter, man. And Jake was probably, with his daughter. He came home from fishing early, caught Jake in there hiding in the attic, from his daughter. That Jake already knew the damn dude parents, that this family was a little racist, but didn't take heed. He thought that it was all love, and it wasn't that serious. And hey, man, ended up losing his life, man. And that's just me speculating as a man. All right, but this devil obviously felt some type of way about this man, or this young man, to the point where he's showing a full showcase and mockery with this damn flag setting right here, man. But this is the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1, a song or psalm of Asaph. It says, "Keep not thou silence, O power, hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult," and the tumult is like a cunningly devised plan, to try to take somebody over, or overthrow somebody. You see. And it says now this is talking to the Lord. So the Most High has enemies, you see, and that's what it's really all about. These people, they hate our power. You see, they hate the Lord that has chosen us and created us and blessed us, but hated them, despised them. You see, and they that hate thee have lifted up their head. Just like if you have a brother, you have siblings, and you have the parents favoring one sibling more than the other, that other child is going to go grow to hate the parents, man. And you hear, in a lot of these movies and shows or stories about how, somehow that child outlashes and causes the parents to get hurt in some type of way, form, or fashion, if not killed. So this is the way that Esau feels. That same spirit is still in this man. It says, "For lo, thy enemies make a tumult. They that hate thee have lifted up their head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people." You see? They've taken crafty counsel against us, meaning they all have come together in an agreement and a crafty counsel against us in some way, form, or fashion, to ultimately lead us to destruction. You see? That's why you see these, stories come about a Jake that, was around too many Edomites and turn up dead. They immediately ruled it as a suicide. It said it was an open and closed case. It was immediately ruled as suicide. I mean, this man's probably had some connections to the system. Told him, "Listen, man, you ruled this was a suicide. I said it was a suicide, and that's what it was. That's what you're gonna put it down as." And they'll do it, man, because if not, you're gonna have these backlash, man, from these devils, because these people, though they look like rednecks and damn, rocking Confederate flags, they're in high positions of power, man. Some of them are, police officers, detectives, lawyers, judges, you name it. "And consulted against thy hidden ones," okay, which is the Israelites, man. "They have said, Come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." And that's why they got you calling yourself black and native, and got you calling yourself black and Hispanic and African American, all these bywords that keep you from who you really are. You see, they'll call you black all day long. "Well, I'm white and you're black." Put. They're pretty much drawing a line before us. And Jake's so simple, they don't realize what that is, man. That's really some witchcraft. They're demonizing you while, trying to glorify and, holify themselves, which is demonic, man. It shows you these people are the damn devil. It says, "And nowadays Israel is no more remembrance," man. Like I said, before the video got cut, I was a Jake at my job. He had no idea about the Bible. He mentioned the Bible to me. I ain't say nothing to him about it first. Usually, we try not to, bring this truth into our personal lives too much, to where the point where it could cost us a job or something. But I pretty much was like, me and this Jake at this job, I never met Jake. It was new Jake at the job. He pretty much, we was getting treated like shit by, pretty much the damn boss guy. All right, and the guy was an older guy. He was like in the 70s. So he had still like these, like, his certain ways and mentalities, and everybody warned us about it before. oh yeah, this man like this, blah blah blah. Don't take no offense to it. Nah, this man was a fucking devil. All right, so we was getting pretty much plagued, feeling the curses at this damn job. And he go to talk about the Bible because he was talking about how these people are devils. And he go talk about how he in the midst of his speech he mentioned how the Bible is fake and this and the third. And I told him, I said, no, the Bible ain't fake. Just the interpretation you were taught of it is fake, man. The person who taught it to you fucking was a damn fake. And I told him, I said, the Most High is a black man. Has a spirit of a black man. That his son was a so-called black man that walked the earth. And then Jake, his face just lit up like, what? He had no idea. He said, I never knew that, man. I never knew that. I told him about the missiles coming and everything, and everything started linking up with him, man. That's the most, beautiful thing in this truth. When you edifying the Jake and you just see, all the pieces to the puzzle fit, the light started to come on in his head as pretty much giving him the word. That's a beautiful thing because it shows that, hey, their spirit bear witness with our spirit, man. And you may try to do that with certain people in their spirit. They just don't bear witness. They look at you crazy. They might even seek to get you fired because their spirit don't bear witness. They either could be a heathen or just a flat out 230 Jake that King David cursed that their table be a snare, that they don't come into this truth. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, they are confederate against thee. So all these nations have come together with one consent, and they are confederate against us, man. Let me grab this word confederate. Okay? In the blue letter. We'll grab it in the blue letter, just to show you, pretty much that we do indeed have enemies, man. And the sooner you realize, I told the brother this the other day at the job, I said, hey, the sooner you realize that these people ain't for us, that they hate us, that we have enemies, that these motherfuckers are devils, hey, man, life is going to be much easier for you, man. You just, everything is going, to make sense. You won't find yourself pretty much, how you say it, you won't find yourself, in these predicaments, man, where you in a situation. All right, but that word confederate goes into
Strong's H 1285. Berith.
Okay. So there you go. Okay. And what this word means is it says a covenant, alliance, pledge. So they have came together and made a pledge. It says between men, a treaty, alliance, league, man to man, constitution, ordinance, monarch to subjection, to monarch to subjects, agreement, pledge, man to man. So they have come together and they they are confederate against thee. They made a pledge against the Lord, man. All right, and thus also with his people. Alliance of friendship, alliance of marriage. So they come together in an agreement. All these nations have come together in agreement. We're gonna tell you who the nations were, but they come together in agreement against us, between God and man, alliance, covenant making, covenant keeping, covenant violation, confederacy, okay, it says a compact because made by passing between pieces of flesh, confederacy, pretty much a pact, man. They made a pact, against the Most High and his people. Okay? This was what that's going into. It says, for they have consulted together with one consent, so they don't agree on everything, man. They don't agree on oil prices, they don't agree on, laws and regulations of how to rule their countries or whatever. But they agree on, keeping us at the bottom, keeping us in subjection, keeping us lost and, confused on who our power is. Why they have so many religions out there. They all have their own gods, but and they all look like them. And we worshiping all their gods, man. But here's the people. It says the tabernacle of Edom. The tabernacles of Edom, which means who? The first people. The first people, the house of Edom, the house of Esau, are you so-called white people, man. And look at this damn devil on the screen. Tell me that's not Esau Edom, man. You can't tell me that's not Esau Edom. I got to do a video about, you It's frustrating, but we know it's all through the spirit, man. That a lot of people just can't get that Esau are the so-called people. You got people that thinking they're the Arabs, thinking that they got done away with. All this bullshit that they, learning from these Vocab Malones and James White, the Edomites and stuff. These lies, man. You see, these people are our number one enemy, Esau. Okay, and the Ishmaelites, which are the Arabs, the Moabites, which is the Chinese, the Hagarenes, which is so-called Africans, Gebel, more Africans, Ammon, the Japanese, and Amalek, the so-called Jewish, which are Edomites too. Okay. The Philistines, which were so-called Africans, and the inhabitants of Tyre, which are so-called Africans. Okay, so you see that it's a broad spectrum, man. More than one nation has come together against us, and there's 18 nations on the whole earth, and Israel is just one nation, man. You so-called Negroes and Spanish Native Indians, we are all brothers and sisters in one nation, and we got 17 other nations that's that wants to do away with us, man. Let me grab this real quick. I ain't gonna make this too long. I'm trying not to. I'm already got to piece it together in the post-production, but it says let me see. Bear with me 1 second. Oh, it says First Maccabees chapter 2 verse 10. What nation have not had a part in her kingdom and gotten of her spoil? So all these nations have had a part in our destruction, man. But right now we talking about Esau. This is the head chief right now. So we dealing with this guy, and really all these nations are going to be in captivity to us, man. They're all going to have to pay for what they have done to us. Scripture says, "Whatsoever man sow, that shall he reap." It also says that he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So whoever killed this man or this young man with that sword in that damn attic got to pay for it, man. And they're going to be killed in, So whether it was this man or not, which, like I said, I believe it was this man, or his cousin, or, but he had something to do with it, man. Must have came home, found out there was a nigger in the house, and called his cousin and Ruckus and his brother Jerry, and they came, and who knows, man. Who knows?
I'm here.
Wade said he got home from a day of fishing about 30 minutes before he heard the shot.
I was downstairs and
It's garbage, man. It says these devils aren't your friends; they are the spawns of Satan, Esau, Edom. If you befriend them, eventually they will cross you, and they won't be satisfied with just blood. They will play dumb and eventually get off. Wake up, and this is what happens time and time again. They play dumb. I don't know what happened. Oh my God, I tried to help them. Blah blah blah, and then all of a sudden nobody's charged. You got a lot of these Edomites, everyday Edomites, that are just cold-blooded murderers, and they're walking free. They're walking them amongst you, man. They done did some shit and got off on it, or didn't get charged for it. They're not in trouble as other men. If Jake do some shit, they gonna hunt you down to the ends of the earth, man. But Esau, it's like, okay, we'll let this one slide, Jim. But next time it's gonna be a problem. You see. This is the book of Sirach or Ecclesiasticus chapter 12 verse 10. Never trust thine enemy. We showed you who the enemy was. For like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. So this man, it's like how iron rusteth. How iron is for sure to rust. So is this man for sure to turn out to be a fucking wicked demon, man. If you think that we just making stuff up or pushing it, or not all of them, hey, go try your luck, man. All right, go try your luck. Okay. Verse 16, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart he imagineth how to throw thee into a pit. And this is what happened. This man is speaking sweetly, but in his mind he want to kill all niggas. He want to kill some old niggas. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. And this is what you see. He found opportunity, and he was not satisfied with blood, man. And the reason why he got the opportunity is because that Jake was not hip to who he was, man. He was not hip to who this man was, you know. And that man found an opportunity and, you know, took it. It says, if adversity come upon thee, thou shalt find him there first, and though he pretend to help thee, yet shall he undermine thee. So though he pretend, like he said, I'll try to help him. Is he helping him? He choking him out. You see? And I guarantee you that at the latter end of that man's or that young man's death, you know, he realized and he understood that this man was a devil. You know, he saw it. You know, probably this man, you know, probably all types of spirits jumping out, you know, all over him and stuff, showing himself. And this is what they're gonna do more and more. They're gonna show themselves to be the devil, man. Hey, these devils are gonna show you how much they hate you. You know, they're gonna make it known. You know, you niggas that don't want to believe it, you gonna have no choice pretty soon. They're about to show you. Sirach chapter 6 verse 13: separate thyself from thine enemies, and take heed of thy friends. So even the Jake, you know, your Jake friends, take heed of them. But for the most important part, separate from your enemies, man. You know, I was at the restaurant the other day and I saw this Jake I went to school with. I mean, this not Slovakia. It's a slip of the tongue. It was an Edomite. Hey, you know what? He could have been a Jake, man, but I believe it was an Edomite. But I saw him, whatever. He's like, hey, man, how you been? Da, 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 da. You know, and I hate reunions, but this guy tried to, you know, hey, let's hang out sometime, man. I'm in town for a while. You want to hang out for, you know, for I have to leave. Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm kicking bullshit. Yeah, man, sure, man. Blah, blah, blah. But the whole time it's like, no. You know, separate thyself from thine enemies. You know, I ain't finna go hang out with your ass. You get drunk and next, you know, I got a gun to the back of my head. You know, you talking about how, you know, in school I looked at you wrong or something, and you've been thinking about it this whole time. You know, demons, man. People got demons on them. You know, and that's the world we living in. And as an Israelite, you especially have to understand that, you know, in order to, you know, pretty much to be able to maneuver throughout this thing we call life. All right. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, that the time of their iniquity had an end. Let me bring that back. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred. Now, perpetual hatred means never. Perpetual means never ending. Okay, and hatred means, you know what hatred is, man. This right here was hatred. And it's never ended, man. It's never going to end. These people are always going to hate us. They're always going to have this. It's always going to be a friction between us because we were never meant to go together, man. It's like water and oil, okay? It's just not meant, man, okay? It's not meant. It's not going to mix. Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord, power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Sith thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Verse 7. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. So Esau's going to be, you know, destroyed for this, man. For the violence against our brother Jacob, you know, you devils going to have hell to pay, man. And what they realize too is that we got next, man. You know. They on their way out, and we on our way in. You see, Genesis chapter 27 verse 41. And Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, which means his mind, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then, meaning his father Isaac was about to die. Okay, and Esau had just got that blessing of what, the sword, which is the modern day gun. Okay, or any tool or weapon of destruction, man. You know, even these viruses that they make in these labs are, you know, an example of that sword, man. You know, these missiles that they make. You know, it says, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. And this is the spirit of Esau, man. You know, you don't see Arabs, you know, making it their business to slay Jacob, you know, like this, man. I remember when I was growing up, I was cool with a couple Arabs, man. You know, and it was times where I remember specifically, man. What something happened between me and my little Edomite friend I had back in the day, and we was at these Arabs' house, and the Arabs, understood something that I, innately understood that the Edomite did not understand, man. And I ain't gonna get into it, but just shows you that all these heathen nations are devils, and the Arabs too. They'll call you nigga every now and then, so they'll show you that how that it's a difference between us. But it wasn't like Esau, man. This man was just completely different. This man is something, man. This is a different breed of damn of demonic, man. Okay. Sirach chapter 30 verse 3: He that teacheth his son grieveth the enemy, and before his friends shall he rejoice of him. You see, because if a man teach his son, properly these scriptures, wisdom, knowledge should be the stability of our times, then the enemy is going to be grieved because he's not going to be able to pretty much overcome that son. That son is going to be blessed and taken care of, and he's going to be able to maneuver through this world thing we call life. And Esau basically won't have as much power over him, and that's what that's what we be talking about. I was talking about that with Jake the other day about how Esau wants is he wants Jake to be in that submission, and that damn complete subjection unto them again. And I witnessed this Edomite snap on this Jake for some bullshit, and it's just like, yo, he just been a dick, because he had the power to. And in that moment, what he was looking for was for that Jake to submit and bow down and kiss his ass and scrub his feet, and it's pretty much what the damn Jake did. But for some of us, we ain't doing that, man. We ain't finna sit here and kiss Esau ass and tuck him in the bed at night, man. We're not doing that. All right, it's either you gonna give a common courtesy or respect, or the hell with you, because we already know who you is. We know you the damn devil. We already know that. We never gonna be able to get on a level platform of communication and love for each other. So hey, it's the hell with you, nigga. That's the reality with these damn devils, man. To hell with these devils. Hey, we can't wait it's that time to start slaughtering you devils, man. Look at his face. We can't wait, man. Proverbs chapter 4 verse 7: Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. And the understanding is this gospel, this word, this truth, man. And who this damn devil is, man. Why to beware of him, why to watch out for him, why to, separate from this damn demon, man. That's very important to understand. Very important to, take in and comprehend, who your enemies is, Everybody ain't your damn friend. Okay? Everybody ain't meant for you to, for y'all to get together and live happily ever after forever and ever. That's not the case, man. When you can become an adult and dabble into reality, you're gonna realize this, man. You're gonna realize this. It's not a time to be trying to look for friends and stuff. Okay, it said, like, I'm bringing this back. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. You got to understand who this damn devil is, man. Once you understand who this devil is, hey, man, it's all going, everything going to come together. All right. But that's it on that. I ain't want to make this too long. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash, Barakatah, Barakatham, to all you brothers and sisters watching this lesson. And with that being said, I'm going to say on to the next one. Shalom. Yahweh Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Barakatah. Shalom.